Look, there is a massive, frankly unspoken problem sitting right in the boardrooms of almost every major Indian D2C and retail brand today. It's a problem costing these companies crores every single quarter, and yet somehow it's quietly accepted as just a standard cost of doing business. But what if I told you that the entire landscape of e-commerce returns, and honestly, the massive industry built around product photography and catalog shoots, just got handed a countdown clock? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're not just looking at some shiny new piece of technology. We are unpacking a fundamental shift in retail operations, a massive workforce disruption, and ultimately, the decision that all of this creates for you. Let's kick things off with a hard number. Most retail leaders already know this, but they rarely say it out loud. According to industry data, e-commerce return rates in India, especially if you're in fashion and apparel, they run aggressively high. We are talking between 25 and 35%, and in subcategories like footwear, those numbers climb even higher. This isn't just minor operational friction, right? This is a bleeding wound in your quarterly revenue. Think about the sheer scale of the crores loss in reverse logistics, refunds, and warehouse processing every 90 days. It's staggering.
So why do people return so much stuff? Well, ask any e-com operations head and you're going to get the exact same answer every time. The product looked different online. So the crucial takeaway here is this. A 2D photo, no matter how beautifully lit, exquisitely styled, or heavily edited it is, simply cannot tell a customer how a fabric actually drapes. It can't show how a sofa looks from a side angle or how a shoe truly fits their foot. This is not a photography issue. This is a massive customer trust problem. When consumers can't trust what they see, they guess. And when they guess wrong, you pay for the return trip. Now, for years, the operational fix for this trust problem was just highly prohibitive. The old fix required six-figure budgets, full-blown 3D scanning rigs, an entire 3D modeling team on payroll, and weeks of turnaround time. Historically, only the absolute giants of the industry, the Mintras and the Amazons of the world, could actually afford the 3D tech needed to give customers a true feel for the product. Everyone else, well, they were just left enduring the current pain, bleeding revenue, and eating those reverse logistics costs because they simply couldn't afford the solution. Section 1, the 90-second proof. Crutch. Okay, let's dive into this because that historical excuse of it's too expensive has just been completely destroyed. A 2023 Bengaluru startup called Ctruh is the perfect 90-second proof of concept here. But I want to be very, very clear. If you walk away from this explainer thinking, oh, here's a cool new tool, then we have missed the point completely. Ctruh is simply the proof that the barrier to solving your returns problem has evaporated overnight. In the previous era, you needed dedicated 3D modeling teams and massive rigs. The new reality? This platform takes one single product photo and with literally zero code, instantly turns it into an interactive 3D model, a virtual try-on, and an AR preview that a customer can spin around on their own smartphone. The barrier to entry is now zero. This means any mid-sized D2C brand operating out of a single warehouse can offer the exact same immersive experience that used to cost millions of rupees to produce. The broader pattern here is what really matters. The tool itself is not the main story. The real story is that complex, incredibly expensive vendor workflows are being instantly democratized. The expensive, specialist capability gets compressed into a tool that a small internal team can run themselves. You no longer need a massive agency on retainer to pull this off. The structural advantage of massive capital has effectively been neutralized by AI. Section 2. Who actually loses out? Because if the technology is suddenly cheap and accessible, we need to have an honest conversation about the systemic workforce and operational fallout. Technological shifts of this magnitude just do not happen without it. There are three harsh realities playing out right now. First up, specialist vendors. Your freelance photographers, small studios, and catalog shoot agencies, they're being commoditized. Their main differentiator was expensive equipment and specialist skill, which is now getting repriced to near zero. Second, non-adapting e-com teams are going to lose customer trust. If your competitor uses AI to offer dynamic 3D previews and you're still posting flat, static images, you don't just lose on cost, you bleed conversion and trust. And third, decisive leaders, the first movers, have a very short window to win. Right now, most brands don't even know this capability exists at this price point. You've got maybe a 6-month window before this just becomes standard industry practice. And this brilliantly illustrates that we aren't just talking about a small shift in how we take pictures of clothes. This is a structural workforce replacement.
Take McKinsey, for example. Their CEO publicly stated they are now running 20,000 AI agents alongside their human workforce. 20,000. This disruption is happening everywhere, aggressively compressing the time and cost required for highly specialized outputs. The catalog shoot industry, it's really just the latest domino to fall.
Section 3. The implementation gap. India's D2C sector is absolutely booming right now, particularly in fashion, home decor, and footwear. But in those exact categories, the how does it actually look barrier remains the absolute biggest hurdle to purchase. The technology to fix it exists today, so why isn't every single brand doing it? Well, the answer is what we call the implementation gap. This is when a company lacks the internal capability to evaluate, pilot, and scale a clear technological fix, which results in prolonged operational losses. The real issue holding directors and general managers back isn't a lack of AI awareness. Literally everyone knows AI is out there. The problem is the sheer inability to integrate these new solutions into existing, messy catalog workflows without breaking the current system. I was actually just on stage recently with leaders from Dell and Reliance Digital, speaking to hundreds of regional retail professionals, and the consensus was crystal clear. AI retail experiences are a this-quarter conversation, not some distant future one. You basically have two choices here. The passive strategy is treating this like a cute innovation project that you might pilot in 2027. The urgent action strategy is recognizing this as an immediate return rate fix, implementing it right now, and measuring the ROI by Diwali. So, I really have to ask you a critical question. Look at your current team. Do they have the internal capability to evaluate, pilot, and implement tools like this? Because if you don't act, you are not going to find out about the shift from a friendly software demo. No, you are going to find out about it from a competitor's quarterly numbers when they suddenly drop their return rate by 8%, and you haven't moved an inch. Section 4. Your next 90 days. If you watch this far, one of two things is true. Either you're already thinking about how AI reshapes your team this year, or you just realized your return rate problem has had a fix sitting right in front of you and nobody on your team has said it out loud. Either way, here's the honest part. Watching this explainer gets you 20% of the way there. You know the problem exists, roughly what's possible, and you probably have questions forming. How this fits your current catalog workflow, what a pilot looks like without disrupting existing vendor relationships, how you'd measure it against your baseline, and whether it's even the right priority this quarter. The other 80%, the part that actually changes your numbers, is implementation. No video gets you there. I work one-on-one with directors and GMs in marketing, e-commerce, and retail operations, building exactly this capability inside their teams. Not generic AI awareness training, a structured program built around your actual function, your actual numbers, and your actual constraints. Here's how to start that conversation properly. I don't do discovery calls. Everything starts on WhatsApp, in writing, because it forces both of us to be precise about what you're solving before either of us spends an hour on it. Message me at 7353-626135 with 3 things: your current function and level, the specific problem you're solving, returns, catalog costs, something else, and what success would look like for your team in 90 days. That last part matters. If you can't answer it yet, that's fine. Tell me that too. It's still useful. But if the honest answer is, I just want to explore AI generally, no specific outcome, this program isn't built for that, and I'd rather say so upfront than waste your time or mine. For everyone else, if you're a director or GM serious about closing the implementation gap in your function, not just staying current on what exists, this is the conversation worth having. Drop a comment below with one word, 3D, so I know this explainer is exactly why you're reaching out, and I'll follow up on WhatsApp directly. Not ready yet? Hey, that's fine too. Just make sure you subscribe, because next week we are diving deep into McKinsey's confirmed 20,000 agent workforce shift and what it specifically means for every consulting adjacent role in India. The wipeout is coming, and you'll absolutely want to see exactly how it maps out. I'll see you in the next one.